Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And I'll wait a moment here or so. Wake up, you sleepyheads. Good morning, Troy. How are you, bud? Dr. Troy on with us this morning. First one up. Okay, Jeanette and Nativity. Good morning. Mike from Wawa. Okay. Hey, we're getting a pretty good crowd here. Here we go. Rosa and our dear friends. You guys are great. We appreciate it. Jerry. Good morning. Susan, Linda, and Andrea, Beth. Good to have you on this morning. Jocelyn from Sturgeon. Good morning to you. We appreciate you guys coming on this morning. Easter Monday. Jeanette, Marin, our regulars, Yolande, bonjour, and Keith, good morning to you this morning. Great to have you guys on this morning. Here we go. We got some good, in spite of being like over the Easter weekend, man, there were a lot of studies that came out that at least I read about. Good morning, Zian and Deb. How are you? Annette from Nouveau-Brunswick. Coast to coast, Canada and the United States. Donna, good morning to you. We appreciate it. Okay. So this morning I want to bring to you, Kathy, good morning. Nice to have you on. Angela, hey, there's Doc from Tennessee. Angelina, our dear friend, nice to have you on this morning. This study is really incredible. I've got to tell you about it. And I don't know if I'm going to spend the whole program this morning, but there's a good chance. The other day I brought to you, remember I said, no wonder we're in such trouble. And the reason was, and I talked about the calories in the United States are consumed, from top to the bottom, and the top ones were cakes, cookies, donuts, imagine, bread. The top 4 foods that make up the most calories, and this was in the United States, we're no different in Canada, come from those 4 food groups: cakes, cookies, donuts, bread. And here's one thing they all have in common without very little except, and then, oh, by the way, and then the next one was soda. Oh, soda. People drinking their sugars, okay? So we talked about that the other day. So that was one study, and my headline was, no wonder we're in so much trouble. No wonder that 88% of the population in North America is metabolically unwell. I mean, guys, if you think about this for a minute, the long-term effects of this will bankrupt us. Well, first of all, because we do not have a health care system, we have a disease care system. We're not into prevention, we're into detection and then managing. So if you have diabetes, they want to manage diabetes. But a new study that came out, and it's very much connected to this. Now listen to this, okay? This came out of the University of Florida, has shown that a particular sugar, high fructose corn syrup, now you know me, I've been talking about this for so many years. I've said this is the antichrist of all sugars, is high fructose corn syrup. Why have I said that? Because first of all, high fructose corn syrup is the farthest thing from natural, okay? You don't grow high fructose corn syrup. It is made in a lab. It's Frankenstein of sugars, okay? It's the Frankenstein of sugars. It's metabolized by your body completely different. And so high fructose corn syrup, and it's a hidden sugar. If you've got a copy of my book, The Metabolic Reset, I talk about 92 sugars where the food industry hides the fact that they're using high fructose corn syrup. It's cheap, very inexpensive for them. It is sweeter than sugar. It is very addictive, and they know it. So here we are, that the foods that North Americans are consuming the most, cakes, cookies, donuts, imagine, and I'm calling them out. Imagine Krispy Kreme donuts is saying, if you get vaccinated, we're going to give you a Krispy Kreme donut. What is it? One a day free for a year? Look, this is not about the vaccines. This is about the donut. Guys, donut isn't food, it's rat chow. If you want a rat to gain weight so researchers can study obesity, you know what they give them? A donut. But cakes and cookies, imagine. And then bread. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention it. Pizza. I didn't even mention it. It's in the top list of foods that are consumed, where most of the calories are coming from in the foods that we eat. And there's one that's you would think isn't bad, that's in the top 5, and that is chicken dishes. The problem with chicken dishes, and it's not the chicken, it's the way they cook it. Because what they didn't say in the article, and I know it to be true, is when kids are consuming, chicken nuggets and chicken, they go to a fast food restaurant and they order, I'm going to have a chicken sandwich. But what are they cooking that chicken in? You see, it's the oil they're cooking it in. The chicken itself, it's got protein and that's all right. It doesn't have a lot of carbohydrates, but it's the oil. They use seed oil. They use peanut oil. They use canola oil. It's inexpensive, but it's not. It drives up inflammation because of its high levels of omega-6 compared to the omega-3. They're not natural oils. They're not cooking in natural oils in fast food places. So not only are people eating junk food, imagine pizza and donuts and cookies and bread. Most breads, go to the grocery store. Almost every stinking bread in there is going to drive up your insulin like nobody's business. And guess what they do? They add sugar. Almost all breads, almost all of them. Listen, I go to the grocery store. I drive my wife crazy. I'm reading labels. I'm reading labels all the time. And they got high fructose corn syrup. It doesn't even say it, although some of them say, we're not using high fructose corn syrup. Liars, liars, pants on fires. It's the sugar of choice. Okay, but let me get back to this study from the University of Florida has shown that high fructose corn syrup disrupts the brain's signaling and it alerts the immune system. Okay, listen to this. It alerts the immune system to trigger inflammation and leading to one of the main causes of Alzheimer's. Now, one of the biggest fears today, pre-COVID, okay, people are scared of COVID, but one of the biggest fears that people have in questionnaires, this has been done, by the way, in North America and in the United Kingdom, Europe, number one fear, I mean, there's the fear of death, of course, and we've really seen this, but it's the fear of Alzheimer's, and no wonder. Who wants to lose their memory? Who wants to get Alzheimer's? It's a huge fear today of Alzheimer's, and well, it should be. The number 3 cause of death in Canada and the United States, number 3, used to be number 200 in the 70s. Number 3 is Alzheimer's. And what this study of the University of Florida is saying, that one of the major reasons is food, and more particular, high fructose corn syrup. You see, guys, high fructose corn syrup is metabolized much differently because it's the Frankenstein. It is the antichrist of sugars. Your body sees it as an invader. You know, it's not like you can consume it and you're going to get energy from high fructose corn syrup. You're going to get nothing but destruction from high fructose corn syrup. You know, I've told you in the past, it takes a beeline. It messes up your gut on the way to the liver. It's going to be in your liver in a nanosecond. Fructose, high fructose corn syrup, it sounds healthy. High fructose corn syrup. But it's on its way to your liver in a nanosecond. So we've discussed this in the past many a times. I spend a fair amount of time in my book talking about that. But here's the thing that it also does. It plays havoc in the brain. The body sees it as a foreign invader in the brain, and you know what it does? Because remember something that I've said. Your brain, guys, is headquarters. Anything you eat, it's like the government saying, you know what? I'm going to tax you. You know, you're going to pay tax, right? What's consistent out of the for human beings? Death and taxes. But when you eat, doesn't matter what you eat, your brain goes, hello, you owe me. I take 25% of everything you give me because I'm headquarters, and shut up. It's the way it is. So give me 25% of the food that you eat. Imagine if you live on cookies and crappy dinner and pizza and donuts. Imagine. Your brain goes, okay, that's what you're eating. Give me, takes 25%. The problem is with high fructose corn syrup, and here's what the study is saying. High fructose corn syrup, unlike any other food, creates an inflammation process in the brain. Why? Because the brain sees high fructose corn syrup as an invader. You're invading, it's like a bug almost, and your immune system overreacts with inflammation. Because that's what happens. If you have, think about this for a second. If you have, let's say you get a bug, right? You get a virus or a bacteria, whatever. What does your body do? Well, your ambulance system gets turned on, and you create heat, you create inflammation in order to a fever, in order to destroy the virus or the bacteria. But when you consume high fructose corn syrup, it's like the same process. Never mind what's going on in the liver, which is very damaging, of non-alcoholic fatty liver, which is happening to kids at it's extreme. I never in the 70s, 80s, 90s even, rarely ever saw, fatty liver in a kid. Are you kidding me? But today it's like an epidemic. And no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it because the food industry is huge, guys. They are huge. They are, the pharmaceutical, I've said this to you many, many a times, the pharmaceutical industry, and God love them, they do some wonderful things. And the food industry, yeah, come on, we're going to eat. The problem is, it's what they're pushing. These stinking cereals full of high fructose corn syrup, breads, cookies, donuts. Ooh. A donut is a perfect food to, fatten up a rat. That's what they use. It's rat chow. A perfect combination of sugar and fat. Ooh, and high fructose corn syrup is the sugar they use. So you consume high fructose corn syrup, damages your liver, but now they're showing how it damages your brain. Because your body reacts to it just like it's an invader, just like it's a virus, just like it's a bacteria. It sets up an inflammatory process and it destroys the inflammation, doesn't get turned off. Okay, you have a donut once a month. Okay, it's your birthday and you're having a piece of cake. Okay, I get it, okay? I didn't tell you I wanted you to leave the planet. I want to give you a plan to succeed. So if you're a diabetic, never have it. And if you're a pre-diabetic, you're already a diabetic, don't have it either. But look, if it's your birthday, okay, I give you a little bit of grace, okay? So you can't say, well, Dr. Martin said never. Sometimes I do say never. People say, Doc, when can I have toast with my eggs? I said, you're a diabetic. Never. Never. Get used to it. Just don't have it anymore. Okay. But you see, high fructose corn syrup creates an inflammatory response in the brain. It destroys your neurons, your brain cells, and especially, again, what they're saying is, remember what I've said, for the sake of simplicity, if you know this, you got it, babe. 2 centers in the brain, your hypothalamus, okay? All your hormones, goes to the pituitary, then to your adrenals, your thyroid, your ovaries, your testes. All of those things are controlled by the hypothalamus. Number 2, your hippocampus. That's your memory center. Very, very important, and especially in this day and age. When Alzheimer's has crept up to number 3 in North America as the leading cause of death, and in the United Kingdom, it's numero uno. Already, can you imagine? This is a modern day scourge. When people are losing their memory, and guess what, guys? It's getting younger, younger, younger by the moment. And it's food. You know, in Big Pharma, by the way, you know when you get, I love baseball, okay? And everybody knows this about baseball. You get 3 strikes and you're out, right? 3 strikes and you're out. The pharmaceutical industry, you can imagine, they have been spending a fortune trying to find meds that will help with Alzheimer's. And they went strike 1, strike 2, and strike 3. You know that? There's never been such an abysmal failure as the pharmaceutical industry, and believe me, they don't like this because they're spending lots of money. They've come out with medications, but they have been a failure. 3 strikes, you're out. It has none, almost zero effect on dementia or Alzheimer's. You know why, guys? I'm going to tell you why. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. They've spent all their money on looking for drugs that will affect the amyloid plaques in the brain that they seem to think are causing Alzheimer's. That's not the cause of Alzheimer's. Might be some of the effect, but it's not the cause. It's not the cause. The primary cause of Alzheimer's, and they don't talk about this as much today, but if you go back 10 years or so, here's what they were calling Alzheimer's. Type 3 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes. Yep. They had it right the first time. They had it right the first time. It really is a form of diabetes without being diabetes. Although diabetics, and this is the reason they did it, is because diabetics, they'd shown, are about 50% more likely to get Alzheimer's. Again, what does sugar do, guys? Sugar is so toxic. Sugar is so toxic that your brain does everything it can to regulate your sugar. You guys know this. This is what we call sugar 101. You want to know what sugar does? Sugar is so toxic in your bloodstream that your body does everything it can to control it. It will not allow sugar. You remember the story of insulin. Insulin's story is I'm the traffic cop. You are parked in the wrong place. Get out. Get out. That's what insulin does. You, sugar, out. You can't park there. You can't park in the bloodstream. You're going to destroy the blood vessels. That's what happens. That's why diabetics have so much trouble with their kidneys. That's why diabetics have so much trouble with their eyes. That's why diabetics have so much trouble with their heart. It's blood vessels in your brain too. But there's more to it than that. There's inflammation involved. Inflammation is your best friend until it's not. Inflammation, if you got a bug, you got a virus, you don't want to bring the fever down. You really don't. Oh, my kid's got a fever. Good. Your kid's got a fever. Yeah, that's your body's way of fighting a fever, right? Or fighting a bug, I mean. It gives you a fever. Your body's intelligent. Your body's fearfully and wonderfully made. It will rise up. But the problem with inflammation is it's disease without a fever. It's not a virus, not a bacteria. It's sugar. getting up into the bloodstream, and especially high fructose corn syrup. The University of Florida is telling us why. It's so destructive, so destructive. So what do you do? What do you do, guys? What can you control? Okay? A lot of people, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that you got to change your diet. They don't want to hear about it. They want a pill. They want something easy. Give me a pill so I don't get Alzheimer's. Give me a pill. Guys, it ain't as simple. It's not a pill that's going to fix it. It's your diet. Eliminate all sugars. If you're worried about Alzheimer's, and you should be, eliminate sugars. Eliminate the cookies. Eliminate the cakes. Eliminate the donuts. No more. Eliminate the breads. Not easy. I didn't say it was easy. It's simple. It's not easy. You got bad habits. Change your habits. Now, I know I'm preaching to you guys. You're the choir. I get it. You guys know this. But you know what? Share this because this is so important. These are headlines in health news that people are not reading about. Why? You think the big food, do you think big pharma wants you to read this stuff? They don't want you to read this stuff. I feel it's my job to tell you about it. You know, we don't live in a perfect world. I understand that. But guys, this is nutrition 101. Sugar is extremely toxic, and we have a new sugar. It's the Frankenstein. It's the Antichrist of all sugars. High fructose corn syrup. It does different things, and it ain't good, guys. None of it is good. Eliminate it. Oh, Dr. Martin, eliminate it. Your kids, form new habits. Your grandchildren, tell them. Yeah, you're not gonna, you drink a soda that's got about 14 teaspoons of high fructose corn syrup in it. Oh, I get sick thinking about it. You know, I still see people, I'm too observant, okay? I see people, they're drinking sodas. Oh, I feel like grabbing them. You know what? Don't worry. You know, I feel like taking young people, don't worry about the virus. Here you are, you got a mask on, and I don't want to get too uptight, but when I see a kid wearing a mask and it's being forced on them, and then mommy or grandma gives them a soda, don't worry about the virus. Worry about the soda. And worry about the donut you're giving them. And the cake you're giving them. And these, granola. Oh, granola. What a joke granola is. I see these granola bars and, parents are, gee, but that's got to be a healthy thing, granola bars. Are you kidding me? It's full of high fructose corn syrup. Ugh. Oh, my blood pressure's up. I'm taking my pulse. Ooh. I'm getting excited. But guys, I'm telling you, you got to understand it. You got to understand it. This is destructive to our society. The elephant in the room. Oh, I want to scream. I want to scream. What do? Cut it out. That's what you do. Simple but not easy. But you can do it. The reset. Start with the reset. Yeah, you're going to cut out all that crap, but you're going to be eating the best foods in the universe for yourself. It's not like I'm telling you cut out all sugars and I'm not replacing it. I'm replacing it. I'm replacing it. You'll get used to it. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's what you tell your kids. Suck it up, Buttercup. This is for your good. I'm making you bacon and eggs in the morning, or sausages, and not cereal. Okay? And then, you cut out and don't drink any sugar. No juices. No soda. No juice. I see these juice bars and I want to go over and scream. My wife has to grab me. Those poor people working there, they don't even know what you're talking about. And I know that, okay? I just get uptight because we have no idea what we're doing to ourselves. Okay, a couple of quick points. Regenerate the brain. So cut out. One of them is cut out. The other one is put in. Put into brain. You want to regenerate your cells up there. You want to regenerate your neurons up there. Then you need to put in eggs, meat, and cheese. You want to get this, you want to get all these synapses and neurons working and regenerated and new ones. You put your B vitamins, eat your B vitamins, and eat B12. They're all found in steak, vitamin S. That's what your brain wants. It wants high DHA too. It wants cholesterol. It wants fat, high DHA. So eat your fish and eat your steak. And if you're worried at all, then take a high DHA supplement. I love curcumin too for the brain. I love Navitol for the brain. Crosses the blood-brain barrier. But guys, it's food primarily. Okay. Hey, that was fun. Okay, so we got some great studies that have come, and I'm going to, as always, give you the health news behind the news, because you probably won't hear half this stuff. You won't see it. It's not in the mainstream media. They don't like to talk about it, but I do, and I want to bring it to you, okay? Isn't that interesting? New study out of the University of Florida. Okay, guys, love you guys. If you're not a member of the Martin Clinic Facebook group, become a member. 2, Metabolic Reset, #1 selling book in Canada, for sale, martinclinic.com. If I don't say so myself, it's a great book. I'm tooting my horn. And questions and answer Friday, so looking forward to that. Send in your questions. We love them. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon.